But I do want to talk about something else. Speaking of transparency, speaking of you being a straight shooter, you just introduced a bill to, quote, prohibit stock trading and ownership by members of Congress and their spouses and dependent children. Can you talk to us about why you feel that this legislation is necessary?
Yeah, I think it's very necessary. People don't trust Washington for good reason. We're crooked as a dog's leg. If you saw where when President Biden gave away our missile defense system, sent it to Ukraine, then we replenished our missile defense system. We had to rebuild it, of course, immediately, and that was through a no-bid contract. And that stock went up considerably at that time, from what I remember. And as it turns out, I believe that members of both parties own stock in that company, and some of them had bought it just weeks prior to the president announcing that decision. Are they clairvoyant or are they crooked? I have my suspicions, but I just think it's important for people to have trust in us. I have a $13,000 portfolio in a mutual fund. My buddy Tommy Siler manages it for me, and he's done real well with it. I think it was $11,000 last year, so I'm pretty pleased with it. But I'm not involved in individual stock trades, and I think it's wrong. I think it's a incredible honor to be in Congress. There's more people that play professional baseball than have served in the United States Congress. And I think that we ought to treat it as such. And if some people have to sacrifice, some don't. But I think that the public needs to know that, and it needs to be very clear and transparent.
Congressman, I bet.
I would encourage people to go on a website, on a Twitter or X. It's called Unusual Whales, like the mammal that swims in the sea. And it shows the Congress people and some of their trades, and it's very alarming to me.
Congressman, based on the fact that you introduced this legislation, I don't think you think that your colleagues are clairvoyant. But what have your conversations with your colleagues been like? Do you have bipartisan support? Because I've heard from both sides of the aisle, lawmakers saying that they would want to prohibit stock trading. Also, I can imagine if you're making a lot of money, you wouldn't want this to go into effect. So what have those conversations been like?
Well, I've been warned off of it. I've been told to quit talking about stuff like this by some of our leadership. And I said, well, it's the truth though, right? And they said, well, yeah, but some members of leadership aren't real happy about when I talk about things like this. So do I think it'll go anywhere? No, neither party will let it. If they do, they'll pass it in the House and sit on it in the Senate, or do a combination thereof. I just don't see it happening.
And why do you think not? Why is leadership calling you off? Are they the ones that are trading?
Don't know. I don't know. I don't think our leadership is. I don't think Mike Johnson is. But I think you've got some people behind the scenes that are doing a lot of stock trading. It's public record. Like I said, go on Unusual Whales. You can, and everybody gripes about Pelosi, and granted, her trades are, as my daughter would say, ginormous, and she does appear to be clairvoyant sometimes, but she's not even in the top 10